You know what? This young man standing next to me, he's not really young anymore. He's about the same height, about the same weight as he was in high school. Not playing anymore. He's now coaching, offensive line coach Jack Rummells. Jack, what was when you first were asked, hey, what about coaching this year for the Bears? What came to mind?
So I don't know. Like after playing football for 10 plus years, you develop just like this frickin' plethora of knowledge of line, and nobody wants to frickin' listen to you unless it's a player coming in. And so, like, of course, like I just felt like I had this essential thing, and nobody wants to listen to me. So this is where it kind of fits in well, and I love to talk about it just because, it was my passion for the last 10 years, and now I get to carry it forward.
Well, I think it's been in your blood for a little bit longer than that. With your dad being a longtime coach, almost 30 years as an offensive line coach here, and you probably watching film with him, and as soon as you could sit on his lap, it's just one of those things. West Branch football has always sort of been in your blood.
Yeah, that definitely brings up the other point of coaching is another hobby of mine. Like I started out in strength and conditioning coaching, but just that relationship of teaching somebody, teaching them, some secrets, and it's a really rewarding thing to do.
So, what are your expectations for the kids this year? I mean, without obviously, every team begins and ends starts up front with the big guys up front. They don't get their names in the paper, but they do all the work to make sure things go right for on each side of the football. So, what are your expectations for the kids? Starting with maybe Jacob Barnhart, perhaps one of the bigger linemen we've had here in a long time.
Yeah. So as a whole, um, I don't know. I think the biggest thing I've been stressing in practice the last couple weeks has just been getting the first two steps correct. A lot of people underestimate, a block is just something that two people come together, but there's a million different things that happen in the first two steps. So if they can get those correct and get the advantage in that part, I think in general, we're going to win if we can get that accomplished.
Who are some of the guys? Obviously, I already mentioned Barnhart. Just some of the guys you're expecting to be your leaders on the field and make your line calls, or just when they see things out there to be the extension of you out there.
Yeah, I mean, so with the big size comes big responsibility just because everybody's looking at you. And so some of those really big linemen we have this year are Barnhart, like you said, and Bloom, and even, that's like the top tier of body weight guys that we have. But then, we even have like Blackie and Jaden that have, still pretty decent good size if you're talking about the average across Iowa. I'm very happy about the size.
So what's dad tell you about this when you decided to get into coaching? Did he give you any pointers? He just said, all right, young man, it's on you now.
He honestly just said have fun, like as far as scheme wise, he knows that I'm up to par, but it's just kind of the trial and error of what works with this level of kids. And I don't know, luckily, like I said, my first passion was strength and conditioning coaching, so I've worked with this age group a lot, and so at least I've kind of had an idea where to go with it. But it's still really unique having people that haven't found their identities on the field yet.
Well, a lot of your other coaches will tell you that they said the adrenaline rush on a Friday night when you're a player is cool, but as a coach, it can be even more stressful and just even more compacted and extensive. So I'm sure you're looking forward to that here in about a week and a half.
Yeah, I think that's what you live for, the practices or whatever, but all the fun happens on the games. So I don't know, like you said, it's a nerve-wracking thing, but with the nerves comes really satisfying feelings too. So I'm just ready for it.
Well, in case things don't turn out the way that we want, no more injuries this year, but he'll shave his face. He's going to be our 13th lineman just in case. Jack Rummells.